Allora, ciao a tutti e a tutte. Ragazzi, anche voi se volete venire a sentire questo fantastico speech, questo è come si fanno. Bravi. Se volete anche voi mettervi da questa parte, avete voglia di ascoltarci, noi siamo CreativeMornings, siamo una community internazionale che i presenti già conoscono. Il tema che affronteremo stasera è trust, fiducia. Avremo degli speech in italiano giusto, e degli speech in inglese. Il tema è stato scelto dalla comunità di Islamabad e illustrato dall'illustratore Damien. Oggi è un'edizione speciale perché grazie a Yellow Square che ci ospita saremo in una sessione Open Mic oltre che Open Air. È stato molto bello per me lavorare su questo tema trust perché ho avuto la possibilità di scegliere, di parlare con 4 diversi interlocutori che sono 4 persone della nostra community. 4 persone che in 4 modi diversi si sono fidate di Creative Mornings e hanno voglia di affidarci la loro riflessione. 4 riflessioni molto diverse, tutte sul tema trust. Quindi chiamo Margherita Senaghi, che è la nostra prima speaker. Bene, vi lascio presentare.
Hello everybody, my name is Margherita. I am a Community and Partnership Manager at IWG. IWG, for those who do not know, is a company working in the co-working field, and we live in our community and enjoy the community a lot. How did it happen that we had a partnership with Maria Clara, Creative Life, and Creative Mornings? Today I'm speaking about partnerships and trust, on the perspective of business partnerships and community. I think that trust is based on some pillars. Those pillars are, for example, sharing goals, sharing knowledge, sharing values, and we felt that we shared lots of values with Creative Mornings. For example, they are international as we are. In fact, we work together in many countries in the world, not just in Italy. And we share openness because we work very close and very in a clear manner because we trust each other, we feel safe working with each other, and we trust Creative Mornings for their reputation as well. And we think that they trust us for our reputation as well because since we are as global as they are, they know that we won't let them down in any case because, as you know, it happens that everything can go well, but also sometimes we have to overcome obstacles together, and that's where you have to trust your partner, and we do trust each other every time, even when I don't meet the deadlines. This obviously leads to another pillar of trust, which is innovation, because feeling free to work in a psychological safe environment, in a physical safe environment, fosters innovation to a higher level and more than when you don't trust the other company, the other partner, the other people. So I'm very glad that we, through Creative Mornings, we brought to the attention of our community really sensitive topics which were maybe difficult to bring to a business environment. Like, for example, in January, we had as a speaker Marcello Minuti and Paolo and Santatore, who brought us an experience from the jail. So people who maybe living from a jail from a very difficult condition up to having a business up and running, a successful business up and running. And this was also creating magic of people because some community members met Pino and they started to plan activities together as well. So yes, Maria Battellini was there and they now have conferences together too. So it's a nice example. Another nice example is a recent example with epic creativity. In this case, it was a trust from my boss on me. It was because we brought collage workshops to spaces and they went like, collages for kids, what are you bringing to space? And I went like, no, it fosters creativity, and creativity is is a skill that every worker should have. And I would like to wrap it up also with the last example, which was really moving, which was approximately 1 year ago with Samuele Galli, who stated his journey, his transformation journey in the Transgender director. So I was so open to us, recalling all these experiences that I still have goosebumps when I think about that event, which everybody was moved, and I was really thankful for the opportunity to bring such incredibly skilled people to our stage. And I would like to thank all the ladies of Creative Mornings, Maria Chiara, Silvia, and Life for these opportunities. And last thing, trust is not only at operational, at organizational, at institutional, and at company level. It is obviously interpersonal. So I'm happy to having become also Maria Chiara's friend over time. So thank you, everybody. I hope I met the 5 minutes.
You're perfect. So this is the deadline you met.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you. So our partners are, of course, the basics for us, because without this exchange we can have with our food partners, location partners, and speakers, we wouldn't be able to have Creative Morning. So thank you to everyone also for being here. So I call on the stage the second speaker, Tommaso Gialli. Tommaso is one of our oldest members of the not oldest, long time member of the community. Maybe you were with us.
Really? It's kind of amazing.
You didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Hi.
Makes me nervous.
Okay, so
Okay, first of all, I'm Tommaso Gialli. I'm here because I've got a kind of thing about creativity, and Maria Chiara told me, there is this thing, you can talk about trust. Wow, this is very good. It fits a lot. So, from this point, but I have to make a false premise. What is creativity only for me or for my philosophy? Creativity is not about self-expression, it's about finding new paths, solving new problems, creating new points of view. Sometimes, when, like the guy that invented the wheel made a creative thing, it could have been self-expression, but not necessarily. Okay. So, with this premise, not self-expression, but mostly creating new things, bringing things out of the box and bringing it into the world, we can start talking. And first of all, my question should be, would you give a bonsai to a complete stranger or to a person you trust? Personally, I think this is a good metaphor of what is creativity. Like, creativity is mostly a matter of trust. You have to trust yourself, because there is imposter syndrome. There is your messy life that fucks up everything. And there is other problems, even with feedback, with people that is all around you. When you bring something in the world, right? You go out of the box and you bring it. So when you're doing feedback, you need context and you need to be open-minded, because your idea might change. Then there's this last thing that I believe is kind of underrated, but for me is really, really important. That is the concept of time. You have to trust time, because no idea is born perfect, usually. And if it's born perfect, you will know why later it's born perfect. It's not really perfect. So when you talk about time, you have to talk about long thinking. Long thinking is that thing that you create something in a drawing. You put seeds all around something, that seeds grow up, communicate with each other, and in one moment, something comes in. That is one of the, let's say, approaches to design thinking creation, that is the eureka moment. Then you've got something more rational that is building up day by day, asking questions. So, what is the target? What is the medium? What am I doing? And so, arguing and building up things in a more conscious way. Last step, the thing that I believe is most underrated of more in total is the fact that when you're dealing with great ideas, actually those great ideas need more time to be explained because you set it in an environment that doesn't really know the rules you created. So more is disrupting something, more you will take time to explain it to others. This is what I wanted to say. There are a lot of questions here. I'm sorry I didn't solve all of them. This is my fast journey about creativity. Thank you very much.
She's the one not meeting the deadline now.
Stress. Super stress. But it's okay. So, thank you very much, Tommaso. Next speaker on the stage. He's also a long-time member of our community, so thank you for being here. And
okay. So I wanted to tell a story. So okay, we started to be a little bit less me telling it how it is kind of thing more. So this whole talk I wanted to give is about design from trust. So the different types of design that we are bringing into the world from trust. And the key idea, I think you'll see, is that trust balances freedom with responsibility. So we have a certain ability to make things new, but we also have to be conscious of the consequences. So anyway, I was in dialogue with someone from the US, and we were chatting back and forth, and a certain book came up that it's from, I didn't bring the whole thing, weighs a kilo, but this book from The New Everyday, so yeah, it's a book from Stefano Marzano and Emilia Arts, published in 2003, but it's super relevant. It's about ambient intelligence. So I thought, okay, this is a book that I've gifted several times. The guy I was talking to, he's like, oh yeah, every time I see that book, I buy it and I gift it away. It's so relevant still today. And I opened to the front pages of the book, and the technical enablers of the future ambient intelligence systems that are now here with us, right? Trust was one of these key enablers. So I found that interesting. There's a whole list of technologies and also trust. So Stefano Marzano is famous for human-centered design and sustainable design and bringing it in. So I thought, well, why not create a story about Stefano Marzano? And so I'll get into that. So the story is real, except for all the parts I made up. It's supposed to be. Okay. So one day, a bright-eyed designer, Alex, joins Philip's design studio. He wants to make a good impression. He's talking with Marzano. He's enthusiastic. He's learning and soaking up all of these great ideas about human-centered design. He's like a sponge in a hurricane, right? Because of climate change, right? It's important. And so Stefano's sensing that Alex is really, he wants to learn, he wants to understand. He's picked up all of the, learning how to design this beautiful, perfect illustrations of design that they learn how to do in the studio. He's soaked that up. So he takes Alex aside, and he decides he's going to mentor him about the trust-based design principles. Okay? So before jetting off to a very important, Stefano Marzano international conference and everything, he takes Alex aside and okay, with this sort of smile, he says, "You know what? What if we trusted you?" He's kind of new, and he's like, "I don't know if I can handle the trust." So typical situation. Yeah, what if we trusted you while I'm gone? Remember that trust balances freedom and responsibility. Yeah. Okay. And with those words ringing in his ear, Alex, he went back to the drawing board. Stefano went off to the conference, and Alex had this great idea. He's like, I'm going to show everybody, this amazing new system. I'm going to install artificial intelligence, and in our new product line, and see what happens. For a few days, everything was fantastic. Everything was more productive. It was more effective. He was getting all kinds of compliments from the team, and everything was going great. But soon, Dun, dun, dun. The cracks appeared in the foundation. He'd overlooked all of these things. Lies is not here from Creative Mornings, unfortunately, but she's looking at also inclusivity and bias and all these things. But he'd overlooked all of these things with accessibility, with cultural sensitivities, privacy, and clients began to complain. So all of a sudden, now all of this technology that he had to wield, he didn't know how to do it. So Stefano comes back. He finds chaos. It's a very maestro design. He looks and he finds all of the problems. He solves all of it. Puts everything back. Gets all the checks and balances back in place. And he decides he's not going to reprimand Alex for what he's done. He's going to say, he thought to himself, he's like, this is a teaching moment, right? So, he said, again, Alex, come back. Remember that trust in design is about balancing freedom with responsibility and respecting systems that can actually produce both good and harm. So, some of the ideas that he went on and said, let me tell you a few stories about different companies that involve trust in their day-to-day operations. Now, Wikipedia, there's a ton of people that are willing to actually curate and create content with a trust-based attitude towards doing the right thing. Netflix, they have the mantra of act in Netflix's best interest that empowers people to make the right decisions, so you have complete autonomy. You've got Kiva that has a whole system. Kiva has been around for a long, long time, but you can actually get loans without collateral. People are trusted to pay you back. Ethereum blockchains now moving a little bit more towards today. Another brilliant labs came to mind. That's a company I love. They are their kind of mantra is deep personal experiences, but they're doing this through an assistant through glasses, intelligent glasses connected to GPT and other chat that are then, the more I know about you, the more you use the product, right? The more better experience is. So think about the trust aspects of designing the system of that nature. So inspired by this short story, narrative, the narrative steps in. So we can reflect on this sort of imminent integration of things that are happening around us with neurotechnology. Sorry. So we can actually look at how neurotechnology is going, like smartwatch and beyond, Apple Watch and beyond, Pro Vision or Vision Pro version 3 when we get there, right? These are devices that can get in your head and understand if you have health problems on the horizon, and they can actually understand a lot of our motivations and our behavior, what's driving us. So trust becomes even more important. Now with these themes, what have we trusted you to balance these incredible capabilities and responsibilities, these technologies that come in now surrounding us? So we go back to a couple first principles before we were talking about what are the principles of trust. In this case, transparency. What data are we actually getting from users? What are we extracting? How are we going to use it? It's super important for the user to believe in the system and to trust. Adaptability. These adaptive systems, you can now, let's just come up with low latency and AI. You can actually interrupt GPT, turn on the dime and say, no, I meant this, I meant that. So these are complete adaptive systems that are changing and evolving over time. Lastly, responsibilities. So we can empower people to use our devices, but also then bring in the safeguards and kind of guardrails to limit things that can go wrong and that can cause harm. So in conclusion, the challenge is moving away from this control kind of mindset. I can establish all the rules and I have to predict everything that's going to happen, to a trust mindset in a trust approach. And so this is balancing again this idea of freedom and responsibility. So by shifting from control to trust, we can create these systems that not only help us survive, but help us flourish. And so the question for you is, what have we trusted you? Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. So I call our last speaker, Milan.
Good session.
All the talks before.
I will do my best. Before I start, can everyone hear me okay? Is the volume okay? Yeah, let me know. Okay, I'll do my best to project myself. How's your energy level right now? High, medium, low? Do you want to do something? Shall we do something? Shall we get up standing? I'm going to invite everyone to come to stand. Okay, and then make sure you have about 1 arm's distance left and right of you. We're gonna try something to feel what the creative cycle is. So let your hands come down by the sides of the body. Right, in my coaching work, I do a lot of embodiment work. So we're gonna slowly let the hands reach sideways and touch the sky. This is like reaching up to your vision. And then as you bend the elbows and bring the hands behind the back of the head, expanding, this like taking action and really showing your power out into the world. Then we turn the palms face up, we curl the fingers in and we gather in. This is like consolidation, coming back to center. Then we turn the palms face forward, push and round the spine, refining and like reflecting outward so you know the essence of what is. Then we flip the palms up, lift, connect with your higher vision, and exhale, we surrender to whatever circumstances life gives us. Let's try that again. So slowly the hands come sideways, reach up, and then exhale, push the palms outwards, express yourself, then gather in. From the heart, reach out, slowly hands reach up, and then hands come down. Last time, I promise. Slowly sideways, arms reach up, vision, exhale power, inhale center, exhale refinement, inhale align with your higher vision, exhale surrender, trust, and then slowly rise up. Okay, let's get a seat. Thanks everyone for cooperating with me. I was like, will anyone come and do this exercise? Okay, so what you've tasted is what I call the creative cycle, and this is basically the basis of the framework I use in my creative flow coaching with my clients. A lot of my clients are high-flying achievers who work as professors in universities, or they work in corporate in a creative role. But basically, what a lot of the work I do is around how to overcome procrastination and perfectionism to cultivate self-trust. So earlier on we talked about, we had Margarita, we had Mazo, and then we also had Christopher talk about trust from different perspectives, from strategic trust as a process, and the different pillars and the process. We also had Margarita talk about collaboration. So self-trust, I feel, is actually the cornerstone of all kinds of trust. Because the only relationship you can have with others is the relationship you have with yourself. Right? Does anyone agree? So I'm going to share a quick story. So I'm from Singapore, this explains my accent a little bit. And I learned here in Italy that people say three this way rather than three this way or this way. So I'm going to share three things. The first thing I've already shared with you, which is the creative cycle framework. That's what we learned. And then now I'm going to share with you a story. And we'll wrap up by doing an embodied exercise to help you cultivate a sense of self-trust. So this story I'm going to share is from my coaching client. Yesterday, I just hopped on a coaching call with a client who's based in Asia. I can't tell you her real name because of confidentiality issues, of course. But let's call her Aubrey. So Aubrey was on this call, and she's an adjunct professor of vocal editing at this university, quite prestigious university in Asia. And she's been doing well for a couple of years. She also has two other businesses. One business that's on vocal coaching to help speakers like you and me, to speak well, singers and other performers. She also has another side business that is more on production. So producing events like this, or dance, or orchestra, or some kind of performance. So her big dilemma was when she came to me yesterday, she was distraught. And she was like, oh no, what am I going to do? For the last 2 weeks, she was not able to do anything. She was in complete procrastination because the university had told her, sorry, we're not going to renew your contract. No visa, no contract. What's she going to do? She's been living in Japan for the last 20 years. And this is now her home. And so she has to bite the bullet and decide what to do. Which of her two businesses is she going to continue? Or maybe she start something new. And she was in this place of completely not knowing what to do to move forward. And also, she had to deal with some logistical issues from the financial aspect, because the Japanese government was also telling her you have to deal with some taxation issues. So that was also in the back of her mind. And so she was in this state of not being able to trust what to move forward. Can anyone relate to that? Has anyone experienced that recently? Maybe like, oh, maybe I should do this. No, maybe not. And so in the creative cycle, just now you've experienced the last part when we let the hands drop down and flow all the way down. That's kind of like surrender. And this is actually in the creative cycle, there are 5 elements. Each of the elements flow or give birth one to the other in this seamless cycle that never ends. And if we had to choose an element to begin with, it would be the water element, because that's also where we spent 9 months gestating in the watery womb of our mother before we were born. This is the same we do with our ideas and our intentions. We gestate the ideas. We allow the ideas to slowly develop and form, and then when they are ready, they are born into the world. So what happens? Why is it we cannot cultivate self-trust? Because we don't give sufficient time. And just now, our speakers talked about time. I think Tommaso specifically emphasized a lot about how important it is to have sufficient time. But then at the same time, right, when do we know not to hesitate and take action? Because that's also necessary in the creative field. We have to act fast in the AI field, right, in the fields where technology moves very quickly. We have to make sure we're ahead of the competitor. So we're constantly oscillating between, should I take more time? Should I wait for the perfect circumstances? Should I collect more information? Should I learn more skills? Or should I take action now and it's going to be imperfect and it's never going to be, the right conditions? So to answer that question, I could continue talking for 1 hour, but I will keep you here for 1 hour. Let's try another exercise. Shall we? Okay, it won't be as tiring as the previous one. You can do this either seated or standing. The standing one is a bit more fun. Right? If you want to try standing, yes, you can. You don't need your arms for this one. So those who are seated, you can also do this seated. So I'll show you this. So it's a forward and backward movement. So what we're going to do is we're going to oscillate between taking action and then waiting. Taking action and waiting. So how far forward can you go without falling out of place? That's too much, right? And how far back can you wait until, it's too late? So if you want to try, close your eyes and do this exercise from that place. And we're going to try this for about 5 breaths, okay? Just 5 breaths like this. And then as you do this, find your center. The secret is to find your center and align with and from the center. This will help you calibrate your GPS, so you know how far the extent you can go without falling out of balance. Just 1 or 2 more times. Okay, and then slowly come back. Let's take a seat. As we wrap up, I wanted to ask all of you, so who is more inclined to fall forward? Who was falling forward more? A few of you, right? And those of us, anyone, were the rest more likely to fall back or kind of in between? So the thing is, we all have our tendencies. This is another thing. There's some of us who are more conservative. So if you know you're conservative and you didn't fall even once during this exercise, what does this mean? You should take more risks. You should take action faster before the conditions are perfect. But if you fell many times during this practice, what is the takeaway for you? You should take less risks, probably, right? You should keep within the confines more. So I hope that's the takeaway that's helpful for you. And I want to leave you again with the message that the only relationship you can have with other people or organizations is the one you have with yourself. And this is why self-trust is so powerful. Thank you.
So we started from trust about with other people, trust ourselves, and everything in between. So with this feeling that I think everyone is feeling right now, I thank you for being here, for being with us for this last of the year, and you will see the date for the September event in a couple of weeks probably. we will not have an August event because we need to rest too. So I hope you will stay with us a bit longer so we can stay here and enjoy warm and the trust we are meeting with each other in this community. So thank you very much for being here. Poi ci sono sempre io.